everyone, and welcome to another episode. I think we're like well over 50 now, John. It's pretty crazy. But
it's 80.
Episode of LunarCRUSH Live. We're really excited, as we always are, to have some special guests on today. We've got Ben and Yiran. Ben's the marketing VP at Wootrade, and Yiran is head of China at DYDX. How are y'all doing today?
Pretty good. Are we on stage?
We're on stage. We're live. We're doing it, man.
Amazing.
Pretty good, yeah.
You can just do some more mic checks.
And that intro that you guys have is really impressive.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Done by a company called Bullish. Shout out to the fellows. They did a great job.
Awesome.
So the way we like to start this is tell us, Ben, maybe we'll start with you. Where are you in the world? What's it like there? I see sun. So it's a little bit later. This is late for us. So what's happening?
Yeah, well, I'm originally from San Diego, so SoCal native, like you, Joe, I believe. And John, are you also from Southern California?
Yeah, I'm South Orange County, Dana Point.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Well, anyway, I ended up in China and for about a decade, and then ended up getting into the blockchain space in around 2017. And then now I'm based in Shanghai, working with Wootrade. And yeah, that's where I'm at. It's morning here, but glad to be here.
Cool. Well, thanks for being here. And Yiran, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Of course. I'm now in China too. Actually, I met Ben sometimes offline too. But I have been in the States for like a few years. I used to live in San Francisco for like 2 years. But I have been traveling around for the Ethereum and blockchain meetup, all over the world for the past 2 or 3 years. And I have been in the space since 2016. I'm like the early adopter of Ethereum.
Okay, that's really early. So you're probably pretty happy right now. It's awesome. You weren't like me and bought your friend a couple of hamburgers with Ethereum back in 2016 that are now worth a pretty penny. So that was a lesson learned.
But I have some crypto kitties and I'm never able to sell it. So
awesome.
It's been interesting looking at Ethereum Classic today, how it's just absolutely mooning, and then having all of the memories of the DAO hack back in the day, and just some nightmare memories actually. Being a bag holder of that of the DAO, that was a really fun, interesting learning experience for sure.
Yep.
Cool. Well, I want to hear, this is fun because we've got a couple different parties on here, and we read a lot about you guys and how you're going to start working together. But Ben, tell us a little bit about like, what's your day-to-day, man? What are you working on? What are you doing?
Oh, that's a good question because Wootrade is expanding very quickly. So yeah, I mean, there's not much I don't do. Mainly my focus is on like the marketing and content side, but I also really help out on the BD side, particularly in the DeFi space, because that's something I'm very passionate about. And then, just being involved in all the meetings from like product level, strategic level, just, trying to put myself out there as much as possible. Another role I have that I didn't really mention before, but I also do a column for Cointelegraph that focuses on China. So I try to stay very clued into the China blockchain space. So these kind of things I do basically from sun up till sundown. It's just like crypto 24/7, and then try to squeeze in some family time around that. But that's pretty much it.
And family time is consisting of more crypto talk for a lot of us, I know too, which is always fun.
She's 2. My daughter's 2 years old, so we're trying to build her up right and teach her how to use a hardware wallet.
Good age to start.
Well, yeah, she can say woo already, which is a good start.
I like that.
Awesome. Wow. And then Yiran, tell us a little bit about what you're working on. What's your day-to-day over at DYDX?
Of course. I think most of you know that DYDX just launched its new product, which is a Layer 2 product powered by Stockwell. So my work has been a lot. Like I'm very busy. First I need to drive the growth for the product in the Greater China area, and also there are a lot of like BD relationship I'm maintaining. There are so many like active business in China for the blockchain space. like the market makers, wallets, and also like Wootrade, they're also based in China. And so we're also thinking of ways like to engage more of our community, because we think in longer term, the community will become the driving force behind any DeFi protocol's growth.
Yeah, community is a word we hear a lot of.
Yep.
You know, on our side for sure, and you can kind of see that growth. So what are some of the plans for growing that community?
We're actually looking for like different solutions in the market. For example, we are thinking about decentralizing our tech stack as well. We have been like very famous for our centralized order book matching, but we are looking for ways like RFQ or maybe even more automated market making. And we're also like exploring like the governance stuff, like it's very popular, I think, which will also be necessary for any DeFi protocol.
Yeah, no, makes sense. And so I do want to hear about the partnership, and whoever wants to talk about it a little bit and what it entails kind of in detail. I know a lot of folks have probably read it out there, but just kind of give everyone a little bit of the simplified form of what's the partnership.
Of course, I think we have a lot of partnership, and one like major ones is like it's a wallet. We have like Token Pocket, Mass Wallet that we partner with in China, and also a lot of market makers like Wootrade itself, and also like Amber, Wintermute, and we are working closely with more like market traders in the Asian market.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he was talking about me specifically, though. In terms of, yeah, I can maybe jump in and shed some light on that. Because for people who don't know Wootrade, we were initiated by Kronos Research, which is one of the largest traders in the space of automated trading. And so one of our advantages is we really understand how traders, think, and we're also able to bring the fee down to around 0 or very low based on the scale that we trade at. So that's something that when we talk to like DYDX, we're very interested in trading on DYDX because in the DeFi space, they are the performance in the trading environment is very similar to what happens on a centralized exchange, and that has to do with what Yiran was just talking about with the off-chain order matching. So that's one part, and we are also like liquidity providers. That's part of the market making. So for an order book DEX, it's very important that you have a lot of liquidity to allow traders to come in and execute orders wherever they want. So that's something that we're going to be working with, and it's really exciting because the DeFi space, we haven't really jumped in from like an automated trading perspective, and these layer 2s that are coming out right now, particularly DYDX, that's something that can really drive a lot of volumes, and traders are really excited about it because the onboarding experience is so smooth compared to a CeFi exchange. You lose the counterparty risk of having to, for a big trader, you have to put a lot of assets on these exchanges. So that's a big one. And yeah, I mean, that's what we're going to be doing, basically providing liquidity support and trading on there. And that's with Wootrade as a liquidity provider, and then Kronos Research as a on-chain market maker.
So I see low fees, no fees. Mm-hmm. Like, how does some of that stuff work with Ethereum and gas fees? And mm-hmm. I mean, you said off-chain order book. Maybe just kind of walk us through a little bit more of exactly how, because we were just talking backstage a little bit, like fees are back up. Like, how is it working?
Go ahead.
Either one, yeah. Yiran, maybe.
For our product, Layer 2 is our keyword. I think it works like a magic. If you haven't tried, you should, because basically how it works is like you deposit from L1, your collateral from L1 to L2, and after that, you only need to deal with the trading on off-chain. So it's instant. It has the fees, same fee tile like you will have on any central exchanges. And on our backend, like periodically, we will submit all the proof to those tradings and to on-chain, so that you will have the data availability and the ZK proof on-chain. So anytime you want to withdraw your money from our contract, you should be able to do that, even if our server is down. So there's no censorship on your funds.
And which L2 is it using? Is it your own level 2, or is it like a?
It's Starkware.
Oh, Starkware. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Who else is using Starkware, Yiran?
I think it's Diversify and Immutable is using Starkware.
Okay. Now, what are the advantages of Starkware? Because I'm also curious. There's so many layer 2s, and it's really hard to keep track.
Right.
So, well, yeah. What did you guys choose Starkware?
I think the reason this back like a half year ago, when we choose the tech stack, there isn't so many solutions on the market. Like ZK is not like ZK Sync is not there yet, and optimistic rollup does not fit our model because you still have the challenging period that your trading does not have the finality, and you need to wait for some period to withdraw your funds. And by that time, Starkware has already built out the engine. It's called Stark EX. So it's like a running version of spot exchanges. So we think we can leverage on that platform. And also like Starkware has been a really good partner for us. We have been working closely together for like past 6 months. Has worked well. Yeah.
What kind of volume are you seeing, I guess, on an average day? Are there any like limitations on level 2, or could you just keep scaling your volume?
Pretty much it. I mean, we still need to pay for the gas fee if we submit the proof to our trades on chain, but it's more flat, compared to our old product, which each order need to be settled on chain. So you need to pay for the gas fee for each trade. That's not scalable. For our product, yes. And currently, I think we have been alive for a month, and our trading volume has exceeded like 700 million already. So it's like around 30 million to 40 million a day, depends on the market, situation.
I think once Chronos gets on there, we can drive those numbers up a little bit higher. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Chronos, the company that we're affiliated, they do like 5 to 10 billion on global exchanges. So we're like top 5, probably top 5 to 10, depending on the day. I think it's like 2 to 5% of the entire crypto market. So like that's mostly on global exchanges, including the big ones, right? So if you've ever like traded a major asset on a big exchange, Chronos might have been on the other side, and you wouldn't even know it, one of their strategies. So yeah, I mean, being able to move this into the DeFi space with someone like DYDX, it's pretty cool to see. And yeah, hopefully like we can pump those numbers up a little bit as well with the volume. I've actually used DYDX a few times. I would show like some screenshots, but my position's pretty far underwater at the moment, so I don't feel. But yeah, it's good. It's really good. It's like I've used like Loopring. That's another layer 2, similar to Starkware, and then obviously DYDX. And the experience, just if you haven't done it, it is like you kind of pinch yourself because you just click the button and then it just updates and you're like, wait a minute, is this actually DeFi? But yeah, it's very cool. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you guys should try it if you haven't.
Mm-hmm.
I tried it, and I think it's really nice. I'm already 5x margin. I was trying to go short Dogecoin, but I couldn't find that on there.
Lucky.
Oh, you're risking saying that publicly on our stream.
Yeah, it's not financial advice, and Dogecoin is not tradable on there. Well, it's interesting, Ben. You said we're trying to get those numbers up, and we're trying to get that volume. But even thinking about 700 million and getting started, it's pretty amazing that and it's because of the trustlessness of it that you can launch something and immediately get volume and get out there. Like imagine a brokerage where you have to sign up and you're kind of like locked in and you're locked into their fees and you can't go anywhere else. And it really boils everything down to just solid product and like a really efficient, like competitive, businesses that are trying to lower fees, create better experiences. And it actually becomes all about the consumer, even though you don't know who the consumer is. It's like, it's backwards from what everyone kind of, it's interesting to think about. And it's like, those numbers are crazy. And it's, and it's kind of just the beginning, it sounds like. Yeah.
And we have also been running some like promotion events recently. Like we reward each of user who deposit like more than $50. We will reward them like $50. I think we will keep running those programs to incentivize people to onboard with our exchanges.
Yeah, I think you have a lot of education work to do, getting people to try out not just DeFi, but then take the next step to layer 2. But once they get there, I think it's very sticky. I think people don't feel they don't want to go back to the old layer 1 kind of experience. And then the other thing, which I don't think Yiran can talk about, but if you read all the stories on the internet, if you go deep, DYDX is probably the protocol that hasn't launched a token that might be likely to do one of those retroactive airdrop things. But I don't know. Yeah, whatever. But not financial advice. But if you did jump on and do some trades on DYDX, it might not be the worst thing in the world. Am I going to get you in trouble, Yiran?
She's silent.
There's no plan confirmed, so people speculate though.
So I'd be curious, I guess it's really two questions. Where are you both seeing volume from in the world? Like from what kind of user, and what does the crypto market in China look like right now?
Of course, I think the crypto market is still like super hot thing, and people are not only looking at Ethereum, they also look at like Polkadot, Solana, and also like central exchanges. So it's even more diversified than like 4 years ago when I was in the space. At that time, it's mostly like Ethereum and Bitcoin. So I think that would change. That has changed a lot.
Yeah, you forgot one, Yiran. You forgot Doge. Right now, like the most highly traded coin in China is Doge, and it's not even close. Like yesterday on Huobi, which is like the main China exchange, I think it was 15% of the entire exchange volume, and then Bitcoin was only 8%. So the volumes that we're seeing on Doge are just astounding. And I have people texting me, WeChatting me all the time, people who are not in the crypto space, just people neighbors, things like that, and they're like, "Hey, have you heard about this Dogecoin?" And I have to explain to them, this, it might go up, it might not, it's probably not a good idea, but you're basically flipping a coin at this stage. But there's a real, there's a real desire for these high performing assets. So the Chinese blockchain space is crazy. It's very dynamic. Some of the biggest mining operations, protocols, exchanges, VCs, like so much is coming out of China. And I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Like Shanghai is kind of the heart of it all. Yeah.
I think there's so many token funds coming out recently.
Yeah. Like in the DeFi space, like Dragonfly obviously is one of the biggest, and they have ties to China. Fimbusher is another one. So yeah, there's a lot of influence. And a lot of like the Polkadot stuff you saw earlier this year, like a lot of that was driven by China projects, China VCs and things like that.
And Filecoin.
I heard Binance Smart Chains had a lot of success as well.
Oh yeah, Binance Smart Chain.
Definitely. So like they're here.
Ethereum to using Binance Smart Chain, and you can get good yields from that. So people just all own it.
Say that again, Yiran.
I think it's so easy to switch from using Ethereum to using Binance Smart Chain. So people just own it because they can get good yields. I think a lot of my friends who was farming last summer on Ethereum is farming on Binance Smart Chain right now.
Wow. Yeah, the amount of DeFi projects on Binance Smart Chain is just astounding. I mean, we just added a Binance Smart Chain category to our website, and we added a whole bunch of coins that are built on Binance Smart Chain, and it's just like one after another is just an amazing DeFi concept. And when you think about it, a lot of what they're doing wouldn't be possible on Ethereum because of the fee structure. And so I think like the developers are just gravitating to it because they want to get their idea and market now. They don't want to wait for something that might happen in the future, ETH2 or whatever might happen. But it's a crazy, interesting space for sure. Let me close this. Is interesting because we were just talking about Dogecoin, and it feels like every discussion for the past, no joke, we've been on Twitter Spaces for 10, 12 hours the last 2 days. And every discussion seems to naturally gravitate towards talking about Dogecoin. And I just looked when you were talking, Ben, and it's yet again today, Dogecoin has higher social volume than Bitcoin. That's 2 days in a row, and that's never happened. So there's a lot of
because
mainstream.
I have been like in Reddit for some time. I think Dogecoin, the community of Dogecoin, the r/Dogecoin has been active for so long. It was even active when only like with Bitcoin and Ethereum, so it had like large community base.
Yeah, it's like the natural meme community. I mean, Chainlink I know has done a really good job. They haven't. I mean, who knows the meme community? But there's something that you kind of like gravitate towards that's like funny and simple and easy to share, and other people are going to like it. And there's something to that community. And I was listening. I forget CEO of Paxos Global talking on CNBC this morning, and he used the word community 3 times in a matter of like 2 minutes, talking about Doge and talking about Bitcoin. Right. And it's, John was saying we were on all these Twitter spaces. We probably had a couple thousand people listening a couple times. And we brought some people up on stage, and it was kind of crazy. You can't naysay it. It was kind of crazy to have, like, the conviction that some of these people have. Obviously, they're thinking, they're like, oh, it's going to go up the same amount, like over the last 3 months as it did, the next 3 months as it did the previous 3 months. I was like, you realize that it'll be 50% larger than Bitcoin if that happens, right? And it was just like, these people aren't thinking market cap. They're not thinking anything. They're just thinking, I got a crypto for the first time and my friends have it. We can talk about it and it's going up. And it's like what a lot of people did back in, back when I'm sure we were kind of just getting started, but it's exciting. But the that actual Doge cloud, that meme, like that's actually going to come for them is what I'm seeing. The one like the I forget what that is, that dust storm meme. That one's the best.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's a good gateway, and like Yiran and Wootrade are both more on the infrastructure side. Like we're hoping that some of these, even if they join as retail, they can convert, study up on the space, become crypto native, and then join our protocols.
Absolutely, yeah. It's a training moment.
What's really interesting about all this is like it's all still really early, and some people say that, and some people feel like they're late. But then when we look at the actual numbers of people that are talking about these coins, and like I'll pick on Bitcoin or Dogecoin, it's less than if I just look at Twitter and we collect every single post that when someone mentions Bitcoin, when someone mentions Dogecoin, when they use a hashtag, a ticker, etc., we have every post, and we can tell you how many unique people are talking about those coins on a given day. And those numbers are less than 200,000 people. So yes, those are much bigger numbers than they used to be, but that's small. When you think of the population of the earth and something becomes mainstream, and this is a global market, that's not a lot of people. So we're still early days.
If we reach like maybe early adopter stage.
I mean, how many people are on Earth? 7 point something billion, right? Just because someone's posting about it on social channels doesn't mean that necessarily like people aren't posting every single day about what they own, right? But there's a pretty significant group of people that become vested in this community, especially when something becomes like more of a broad-based brand. And I think it just shows that the amount of holders is still small relative to the population of the earth, if we're looking at it that way. So there's a long ways to go. Long ways to go.
That's good.
Yes.
I'm seeing some in the comments. I'm seeing some Woo community members joining in there, which makes me kind of curious, because you're looking at the analytics. Like how is Wootrade performing these days on LunarCRUSH?
Happy to pull that up if I can share my screen.
Go for it.
I hope I didn't break the format.
There it is.
I already had it. Cool. If you can see it. So yeah. So wow. Wow. Yeah, definitely. So this is good. All right. So your social volume's up 1,000% over the last 3 months over the previous 3. We're talking about the high there. You've had 1,324 mentions in a day. And that is looking at when someone is using the ticker, when they're saying Wootrade Network, that hashtag, all that stuff. So those are just the number of mentions. So in other words, like a post that contains those terms, it's looking at the number of times every day that those are mentioned. And I mean, we're talking from just double digits all the way up to 4 digits in a short period of time. Your engagement, we've seen a couple big spikes and we've seen it up to 3.9 and 3.8 million. That's very, very good. Up 1,385% over the previous period. What that's looking at is like if someone does a post that's about Wootrade, how much engagement is there in that post? So like the retweets, the likes, the comments, all of that. We're looking at that. We're looking at the number of contributors. So this is the individuals that are posting each day. So it's actually amazing just how close this activity is to the price. The purple line's your price. I mean, I could swap it to candles, but you've got a lot of similarities. Social dominance has also increased. This is like, think of it like a pie chart, like a pie chart of how much social activity is there across the crypto market. And on your high, which was on April 7th, you had 0.17% of all social activity across the crypto market, wow, which is outstanding for a project that's not even 500 mil in market cap. It's very, very high. Bullish sentiment. It's another thing to look at. We actually take every post and we classify them. So we actually have a machine learning, like natural language processing library that's been hand trained and hand built that looks at every single post coming in from like Twitter, Reddit, YouTube, Medium, etc. And it's scoring it based upon, is it very bearish or very bullish? And it's also looking at it, is it spammy? For example, if there's a bunch of accounts that have like, 0 followers and they just keep posting Wootrade network and like spamming stuff, and 9 tickers and all this nonsense, they're going to be picked up as spam. And we actually even track that. We even track spam volume, which these are actually really low numbers. So you're actually not even getting a lot of spam. There's 24, like these are really low numbers. The fascinating thing is we have an API and we've had even some individuals trade off of spam because they believe that there's a reason for it. Why would there be an active spam campaign if there wasn't something going on? So they beat the market doing that, which is pretty fascinating. We also look at like shared links. It's kind of an interesting one. It's also how we like look at news, where we actually look at every link that's ever used in any of the social posts that is about Wootrade, and that those links we spider those links and look for are they about, is it about Wootrade? What is it about? When we classify all that, and that's actually how we capture news. An example of that, I'll just pop out of here real quick. If you go to our trending posts, like on our dashboard, like each of these, this is like what's hot in the market right now, what people are sharing. So like, for example, if there was like a big major event that was about DYDX or Wootrade, it would get like picked up by the media, right? But what if there were 19 articles written about the same thing? Which one is the most important? When we look at which one was shared the most, and we do it in real time. And so a lot of this stuff, like, Square's Bitcoin revenue grows 11x year over year. Wow. That's the most shared thing going on right now, as an example. So yeah, so that's how Woo is doing. I'm just going to go back here, and I think there we go. I'd be curious the use of it. Tell us more about the token.
Okay. No, first off, I want to say like it's I use LunarCRUSH quite a bit, especially like the role in the marketing to kind of see, especially like who's contributing, like which influencers are taking part. So I definitely use this tool very frequently, and it's interesting because I met Joe through social media a long time ago. Well, I think the LunarCRUSH account only had like 1,000 followers at the time. They were just getting started, and I was writing enterprise use case posts for VeChain back then. So we had some interactions. Yeah. And then over time, over time, like Joe, I guess you guys got invested by Draper Goren Home, and now you have like 80,000 followers or whatever it is. And I think I have about the same amount of followers. So maybe that says more about me than you guys, but no, it's been fantastic seeing you guys grow. And, from something that started out, I was like, oh, this is a really cool tool. And to something that everybody's talking about on podcasts and YouTube videos, and asking us about it. Like, cause we go on, as traders, like we go on, we talks and other things, and people want to know, like, what tools are you using? Are you guys using LunarCRUSH, right? So it's been really cool to see your growth, and always been a big fan of the product. But that's
Thank you.
neither here nor there.
Appreciate that.
What was I going to say? Oh, about the product itself. I mean, it was interesting because we launched in October, and there was almost no awareness, because as a HFT or like a hedge fund like Kronos Research, they've always been very low key, because there's very little benefits outside of recruitment for, to show everybody, oh, we're trading, this is what we're trading, because that invites competition, obviously, to kind of try to see what you're doing. Anyway, when we started, it was basically from square one, building a community. And I mean, I kind of joined full time somewhere around then. And one of the things that I said when I joined, I made it very clear that if we're going to do this, we need a community. And if we're going to have a community, it's got to have, it's got to be organic. It's got to have transparency with the project. And to the credit of the co-founders, they were like, yeah, this is what we want. This is what we need. And we've been doing it, and it's grown very slowly. I think at the beginning, it was just like me and like 5 other people in the Telegram group. But we took the time to like answer all these questions, and slowly people just started trickling in. And we got lucky, I guess, because of the time. People were looking for the next gem, the next Uniswap gem, or the next, the next 100x or whatever, because it is that time of the bull market. But we started to get really high quality contributors, which was very exciting to see. People who took the time to research, and some of them were coming with really strong backgrounds, like from other projects or traditional finance. And it really set a good foundation for what we've done. And that's why, like you said, we're much higher now than we were before. I mean, we were at like a 15 million market cap, but we had really good engagement compared to some of the projects who are, in the top 100, and they have 0 engagement, or, very high spam, low quality engagement. So, that's something I'm quite proud of. And you've seen the success that like Chainlink has had by growing a very active, passionate community. That's something we want. And I think, something that if DYDX goes that route later on, it would be great to support other projects like that, and kind of, share our passionate, active community with other passionate, active communities, and, and grow together. That's kind of the spirit of DeFi anyway. So yeah, that's the spiel.
Yeah, that's great. And the token specifically, though, what are, so it, like, I see like unlocks access to 0 fee trading, staked by major institution exchanges. Like, is there a roadmap for the token specifically?
Yeah, I mean, that's the key idea, because we have like our, we're like a B2B institutional liquidity network. So big clients will stake a lot of Wu tokens to get access to this network. Because for them, 0 fees, I think that's just incredible enhancement for their business model. And we've actually seen that their volumes have gone up since connecting to our liquidity, because users just find it easier to trade. So that's the one thing. The other thing is we're launching, where it's in beta now, it's kind of closed beta, a first party exchange, which is the same thing, 0 fees if you stake, but it's much more reasonable. I think you only have to stake like 240 Wu to get to the 0 fee tier. So that's the second part. And then the third part is we're trying to create all these decentralized products, also some centralized investment, wealth management products, based on the fact that we're very good at creating sustainable yield, right? So that's something that's missing, I think, in this space. And, there's a lot of, like, we've seen the BSC yield farms that are offering ridiculous APYs, but that's not really going to last very long, I think, in this space. But because of our trading strategies on the Kronos side, like, that's something we can consistently offer, is consistent low risk yields. And so we're going to structure a lot of products around this. And the Wu token is going to be instrumental in that. So, we're one of those projects that's positioned not just in the CeFi space, we're also in the DeFi space. And so we're very well positioned to capture a lot of value from both venues. So, that's what we're doing. It's a work in progress, and we're getting new ideas every day. Like this Uniswap V3 thing kind of came out of nowhere, and we were sitting around looking at it, and it's like, well, this is really positioned for, advanced market makers, right? I mean, the average person doesn't know how to game this V3 system. You need to have like a quantitative approach to it. That's something we can do, right? I mean, so this is stuff we're looking at.
Yeah. Do you guys plan to do like market making on Uniswap V3, or do you see any like advantage, compared to more retail users on Uniswap V3?
Absolutely, absolutely. Like, yeah, I think we're already running simulations. It just launched yesterday, but
Okay,
you know,
cool.
it's yeah, absolutely. It's perfectly
Is
positioned
that an
for
announcement?
people who know. No. I mean,
Okay.
that's not
I'm
even.
kidding. I always like joke.
That's more on the Chronos side, and the Chronos. I mean, they trade everywhere, so there's no like secrets there or anything. But yeah, I mean, it's built for active quantitative traders, and so yeah, I mean, the user benefits because they just get better price execution. If all the liquidity is bulked around certain price ranges, then you can execute bigger trades without the slippage. So that's yeah, that's a good thing. It's an opportunity for us, not just us. There will be other trading teams who are able to do this, but that's what we're looking at. Yeah.
Yeah. And Yiran, I saw on DYDX there's a borrow and earn, or I think maybe I just saw borrow. Have you seen users start to kind of use the lending tools yet?
Yeah, I think that lending product has been around for like 1 or 2 years. It's our own like L1 product. You can earn either by depositing, and you can also borrow by paying some of the floating interest rate.
Very cool. I just listened to both of you guys kind of talk about that in some of the talks that we've had over the last week. And then speaking with a traditional bank here in the US that's, down south, it's like, I'm surprised that they're just not scared shitless. They must just be completely ignorant to like most of the stuff that's going on, because you guys, the amount of, volume that you're getting and the borrowing that's happening, these are things that they could only dream about, like as far as growth goes. But I think they've been so inundated with these just low rates and free money that's going on that they're like, we couldn't even handle any more volume on that side. But as soon as those things start to kind of curtail off, they're gonna it's like they're not even gonna have enough money to buy some of these other companies, or they're going to be completely decentralized and that you can't even buy them. It was like a friend the other day asked me who the CEO of Dogecoin was, because they wanted to do a commercial with them, and I was like, dude, I can't even like. But
Elon Musk.
Yeah, Elon, shoot him a text.
Yeah. No, I think the banks are going to adjust very quickly. I mean, that's something that we hear other people talking about, and some of them are going to move. I think I saw yesterday in the Bancor community that they're dealing with some bank, and it'll be very easy for them to put user funds into these protocols, and what that's going to do is it's going to normalize the yields a bit, because there's going to be a lot more supply of available funds. We might not see 150% APYs anymore on the main platforms, but that will happen. I think the banks are going to have to keep up at some point. Otherwise, certain nations or certain institutions are going to take advantage, and then they're just going to steal all the customers away. So I think they can react. Maybe not. The U.S. is very slow, but I definitely think in certain regions they're going to be on this, like areas like Singapore and Hong Kong, and very fintech friendly countries.
It's scary to even move money back from crypto exchanges into a U.S. bank, because even if it goes, now you're flagged. You're on a list. They see oh, you transferred from Coinbase or whatever, and if you keep doing it, you're one of those crypto people. And I mean, it's just actually no different. Like if you walk into a bank here and ask for like $1,000 of cash, they actually ask you what your profession is. What is it you do for work? They actually ask you before they give you the money. And so they're prying. So I could only imagine when they start to see a bunch of cash deposits coming from a crypto exchange, let alone $100,000, $1 million, whatever it is, you're going to be questioned a lot here. So to me, it's like, man, they are like almost resistant, let alone not participating. Like they're on the other side of the equation. So it's a crazy place for them to be. They're going to lose.
I think I more agree with you. I don't think the big bank or institution will keep up, because it's just different mindsets. It's hard to switch to, from a traditional banking, which is very serious and take a lot of procedure to process any small amount of things, to just, interact with the code and on a all decentralized computer. I think it's just very new mindset for a lot of people. And besides, I think the crypto space is moving like lightning. Like you see, last summer is Ethereum. Right now it's Binance Smart Chain. You need to be in the space to know what's going on, what's hot, and also like NFT, right? like it's so hard right now. I feel like it's over. Like it's like ICO all over again for the NFT.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're just scratching the surface on artwork mostly.
Yeah.
It's mostly art. I mean, imagine once this starts to become real products, real serious products, and intellectual property. It's going to be fascinating. I even heard the other day there's a new, I think it's Chainlink came out with something where when you transfer an NFT from one person to another, it can evolve into something new. So if we pass it around, it becomes a different NFT from person to person. Yeah, it's an interesting thought. What could happen with that?
I mean, our industry is another very old and traditional industry that I think Ethereum is gonna revolutionize that too.
Yeah. Another thing, like in China, we're very lucky to be. We get like the technology first, it seems. Like I was hosting a panel yesterday on the digital currency in China, that the national digital currency that they're trying to roll out before the 2022 Olympics. And they've just been so proactive on blockchain and these kind of digital assets. Now, granted, this digital asset is not really related to blockchain, but still it's a step, I think, in the right direction. So, sometimes when I talk to people back home in the States, it is kind of like wait, do you guys still use cash? Like it's crazy some of the things that goes on. I mean, Yiran, do you walk around China with cash at all? Like, when's the last time you actually had coins or money in your hand?
Like a long time ago, right? People, I think, use and WeChat, so it's just very convenient.
Yeah, and I think it makes a difference on the fintech companies here. That they think a lot more progressively and they're able to do a lot more things. And like the blockchain space in Shanghai is absolutely incredible. How many solid projects are coming out of here. So yeah, it's good to see.
Yeah, lots of talent. We do have a question. I know you kind of like went through it a little bit more, but maybe you can kind of explain for Christopher here.
Sure.
Can you explain how the partnership with DYDX benefits both sides?
Yeah, absolutely, Christopher. For DYDX, the benefit is liquidity. So that's really a benefit to the users of DYDX and DYDX itself, that they have more active liquidity, just a better trading price execution, right? That's the things that you want as a trader. And then for Wootrade, it's obviously about more diverse flows, right? Because the market makers that connect on one side of Wootrade, right? They want volume, because that allows them to trade more on other exchanges, because then they can use Wootrade as a place to hedge, or they can trade actively on Wootrade and then trade on other platforms. And when you trade on other platforms, they get maker rebates, and that turns into revenue for Wootrade, right? So more flow is the key, but also, like, I think stronger communities is going to be another big one. Like, we want to, like, the people who are in DYDX now, they're very early DeFi participants, and they're people who know what's going on. And so, we want to be associated with that, and we want to, share ideas with these communities. And that's obviously another benefit, besides just the obvious one, which is we get more flow.
I mean, Woo has amazing community. So for DYDX, it will be great to work with Woo, so we can, attract some of the Woo community traders to our platform. So I think that's mutually beneficial. Yeah.
Plus, if I'm trading on DYDX, then the market makers are going to have a field day, because I seem to be doing quite poorly on my trades.
It's because all your friends were buying Doge while you were actually trying to buy like infrastructure plays and everything. You can't do that.
I bought Aave. I made a mistake. I mean, I saw the future of finance, and then all I need to do is buy Doge. I think you had another question on the comments about our marketing. What was that one? That was like before the stream even started.
There's a question for Joe. What does NFT stand for?
I can't answer that. That's financial advice. This one was like way at the beginning here. Yo, Ben Yorke, if you're reading this, why so little marketing on Woo? Subreddit is like empty. Only few YouTube vids out. Nobody knows about release in June. Rebuttal.
Yeah. No, we do love the criticism and the harsh feedback and challenging us on things, because the community has actually thrown out some really good ideas, and we're constantly pulling from that. I mean, I think the Reddit thing has always been, Reddit's one of those platforms that it rewards third-party participation, right? I mean, if you just create a subreddit and it's just the first party just dumping their own self-posts in there every day, I don't think the effect is good. So we always wanted that to grow organically. And you look at other projects who have done it very well. Like VeChain subreddit has over 100,000 followers and it's very active. And we do want to have something similar to that, but it can't be so top-down driven, right? So that's one thing. I mean, another thing is like we have a lot of Asian-focused followers, and Reddit is popular there. But it's something that we're going to definitely pay attention to. We're going to grow. In terms of marketing, I think marketing in crypto is a double-edged sword because the more you spend, I think you get diminishing returns. Like nobody wants to see Google ads or banner ads on your website saying, you know, come buy Woo. You know, like that's not the effect that we're going for. So I think we need to build the product first. That's a big one, and we need the ties that we're establishing now with our community are solid, right? I mean, they can stand a bull market, they can withstand a bear market, and that's an advantage not a lot of other projects have. And I think we're going to keep doing that. And then once the product is officially out, which should be later this summer, the WooX, the trading platform, then I think we will do more product marketing focused initiatives and campaigns and things like that. But yeah, I mean, you definitely got to walk before you run. And the fact that we're not out there marketing all the time probably improves our credibility in this space. And you know, it's also creating more opportunity for people to get in early. You know, if we were one of the top projects already, then it wouldn't be the same value proposition anyway. So that's kind of how I look at it. But it's a good question, and it's one that deserves to be addressed.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Thinking about there's so many different channels that you can go after, and like you were saying, it's like traditional marketers just don't fit in the space. So like, oh, just like I'll log into like the Facebook like paid ads platform, and you're just like, what? Like that is not how it works. And so it either takes a lot of time to kind of train people up, or the entire community, the crypto industry is all fighting for the same kind of individuals that have a little bit of experience, right? And so it's such, if you can get into the space and just start following people and start understanding and like getting in there, you're so marketable as far as like your skill set and what you can do. It's like if you just created a Twitter account and just posted memes and created a little bit of a following and proved that you could do that, that's your resume, right? And it's just so different than what, you know, I think even the rest of the market is doing with regards to like growth. Yeah, I mean, our biggest spike in social media came when just randomly on a Wednesday night, Suju was drinking wine on Up Only TV, and he just pulled up a picture of their website with our logo there, and then suddenly our just engagement shot up, price shot up, and you cannot buy that sort of marketing, right? I mean, that's validation from one of the top minds in the industry. Like that's something you have to do by building products, building trust, and you know, they have to see people building a strong community. So, you know, there's nothing we could have done. We could have spent like got a Super Bowl ad, you know, like it wouldn't have had the same effect that just that one unique moment from a guy like Suju, and you know, that's something that we're going to keep trying to build on our end. But I mean, that is, like you said, Joe, that's crypto marketing. But maybe you have some ideas. Like, what do you guys see that really works in bringing up engagements? You're the
Twitter
experts.
Spaces right now. Right now, Twitter Spaces are where it's at. There's like an incredible amount of people on these things, and because it's so close, it is your Twitter account. It's not like, like Clubhouse is like over there, and you're building yet another network, which is cool. But you know, even what I've seen the last like 2 weeks, there's less Clubhouse going on, a lot less. And even those discussions when they used to have like 100 people on Clubhouse, there's like 2,000 in Twitter. And you're having these discussions. Like we had one the other day, and we got 500 followers in 30 minutes when we were on. So like there's certain like discussions that are actually like fire. Honestly, like it's really really good. And the vibe seems to be good. But and a lot of this live streaming content's really great too, because it ends up archiving on YouTube. And there's a lot of residual views on this kind of stuff. So it's those would be 2 tips. And the Super Bowl spot, we should all do a Super Bowl spot. As Joe loves to say, let's all go in and co-op it. So yeah, Joe, do you want to send them the agreement?
Crowdsource it, or like even like create a token that's just like the crypto industry Super Bowl spot, and then like we all go in and it's just like a bunch of logos flashing or something, or like, I don't know, we'll figure it out. I got some ideas.
That'd be great.
500
I
bucks.
fully support this.
Dying to do a Super Bowl ad over there. She's like, what are you guys even talking about with the football? Like the sport, like 100 million people in the US, but I don't know, people don't watch TV anymore. Like I think we're over here, the Oscars, it was like 8 million viewers or something. That's like one tweet from John's Twitter account. Like that's an entire, like that used to be 40, 50 million people. I mean, like cord cutting has been going on for a long time. You know, people are on their devices, people are on TikTok, people are on completely different mediums, and there's a different way to get to them, you know? So it's like, you just can't go out there the same way. And like you said, it's all organic. Like if there's anything I can give any startup founder, it's like just organic. And it's the conversation so driven by VCs. What's your acquisition cost? Well, what's your acquisition cost? It's like, well, first off, why would I spend $1 on paid marketing? Like until, you know, you hit a certain level. It's like you're just taking equity dollars and you're just dumping that right into just lighting it on fire, basically, until you kind of figure out where it's at, versus like building a brand over time, which is actually going to have legs to it. It's just, I've never understood that, like acquisition cost, paid, whatever. And I think that's going away. And I think it's, you know, it's all about the community and it's all about building cool stuff. Like we were talking about at the beginning, what you guys are doing is building a really good product that works better. And guess what? People are going to talk about it. And it's like the focus is on that.
So if that's the case, I think a big piece for you to think about is like, how do you integrate social interaction points into your products? Like it's one thing if your own account is tweeting all the time. And I mean, and the suggestion there is frequency. When you look at the most influential people, they're posting 15 to 25 times a day. So what's interesting that you could constantly post about that's not annoying and overwhelming, and, you know, what exactly is it that provides that value? And like, what is it in the product? Like, for example, if someone signs up, is there some sort of sharing thing that they could do that benefits everyone and they get a reward? So like, there's all these different things. You know, if someone does a successful trade, is there some way to share an element of it? That kind of thing. So bake a social into the product. And I think, because especially with the token, you got a token, you already have a loyal base.
Yeah, we definitely want to do that, and we're looking at combining so many of these elements like NFTs and you know, just for traders, right? I mean, the competition it's a big thing, like, and social trading, copy trading, like all these things, we can definitely make it a very social experience. So that's all stuff that we're going to probably roll out in like Q3. But it's I think we're set up well, like for the like you said, with the way that the communities are decentralizing and fragmenting, and there's no way to target them through like a TV ad. I mean, that's perfect for us, because, you know, you make everybody a stakeholder in the cryptocurrency space. They're going to go out on TikTok and their own networks and drive adoption. So that's a very positive for us. And when I say us, I mean crypto, right?
Crypto in the, you know, in a whole. We're coming up on time here, and I really appreciate both you guys getting on in the morning. And so, you know, definitely, you know, tell everyone, like, where could they find you guys, personal, professional, and then kind of what's in the future. Like, what would you kind of like want to leave us with today? And so maybe Yiran, if you want to take a stab at where do we find you?
I think you can find me on Twitter. I have the Twitter handle in today's live stream tweets.
Cool. Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
You want to put it in the private chat? I'll put it into the comments.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Can you? I don't think I'm allowed to post in the comments.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
We'll fire it up.
You're not worthy, Yiran.
StreamYard blocking you.
Why?
Censorship. Yeah. I mean, for people who are interested in Wootrade, I mean, we've got a great value proposition to users. It's just 0 fees. I mean, you can't beat that. Best liquidity, 0 fees. And if you're looking to trade on any sort of centralized platform, I mean, you might as well, you know, do it with 0 fees. And we're very active in the community. So if you like being a part of a community that, you know, kind of values the user, like it's a fun place to be. You can find us on Telegram. Like, I'm in there, like, not 24/7, but pretty close to it. And you know, yeah, definitely Telegram, Twitter. We'll probably get a Discord running once we get a bit more decentralized in how we run ourselves. But yeah, check us out, and we love the feedback, so keep that coming.
Oh,
Cool.
one comment. I would like to see DYDX on LunarCRUSH as well sometime soon.
Oh,
You need a
sometime
token.
soon.
Yeah,
That-
We'll get it. We'll get you up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
That's
Let's launch the token, Yiran.
I think the dashboard is pretty cool, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
Thank
a very
you.
powerful tool.
Thank you. Well, cool. Well, Yiran, thank you so much. DYDX.exchange. Everyone get out there, check it out. Ben, yeah, you were there, like, would follower 800 for LunarCRUSH. Now I got to go back and check that, but thank you, man. Appreciate you coming on here.
Mm-hmm.
Woo.network. Everyone get out there, check it out. And then John, as always, pleasure. All right, everyone.
All right, guys.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
all
Thank you.
for listening.